Hello YouTubers, and welcome to my second video. This is Paul speaking, and this is my place. And today it's the second video on this 100-gallon tank that I bought from a friend. He used it as a marine tank. It's in pretty bad condition really. It needs refurbishing, and so that's what this series of videos is about, just to show you what you can do with a second-hand tank. I'm going to try and make this look as good as new. So I got the tank. It does have a hood, although I've taken it off at the moment, and it's been built with a weir, which is that construction in the corner, which is used for filtration in marine tanks. It's basically a couple of holes bored in the bottom of the tank, and then this glass construction is built around it. Normally when I've seen them, they've been built with 2 panes of glass, but this one was built with 4 panes of glass, and because I'm going to use this tank for cichlids ultimately, I didn't really have a need for this weir and sump system, and it takes up quite a bit of space really in the tank, so I've decided to get rid of that, and it was quite a difficult job. It took me about half a day using scalpels, craft knives, and a little tip: if you want to get rid of some silicon sealant, if you get an old credit card or some type of punt card, like an old club card or something like that, if you just shave the edge of it with a craft knife, you can get quite a good edge on that, and that is quite good at slicing through silicon. And unlike some blades that you might use, it doesn't mark the glass, so little tip there. Use a credit card sharpened to slice through silicon. It's quite a good little idea. Right, now, where were we? I was expecting this video to go off then. Got a warning light, but we seem to be okay at the moment. So the next stage in this tank, as I say, is to firstly remove this weir system, and I'm also going to remove the backing on this tank. It's got what looks like it's black, as you can see, and I think it's some type of sticky backed plastic. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's pretty rough condition, and I'm hoping that will just peel off. It's got a few holes in it, so that's why I need to replace it. I was originally going to go for a blue background. I thought that would look quite cool with the cichlids, but then I thought, once I got the pump and heater and everything fitted, they're going to show up really obviously against a light blue background, so I've decided I'm just going to go for a black background again, and hopefully that will sort of help to hide the pipe work for my exterior canister filter that I'm going to fit to it. So let me see. So first stage, as I say, is to remove this weir system, and that will leave a couple of pretty big holes in the bottom. In fact, let me see, because I've already taken this off. Let's see if I can take it apart without the whole thing falling to bits. So if we just remove these, just bear with me. There. So that's the glass removed. In good old television tradition, it took about 10 seconds there, but in reality to cut all that through took me at least half a day. It was really labour intensive. So the pipe work was all fitted here. If I take that out, there were two pipes, an inlet and an outlet. And then if you look what is left in the bottom of the tank, two large holes, perfect for leaking all the water out. So next step is to cover up those holes and to get the back repainted. Now I'll show you what I'm using to do those jobs. Unfortunately, I'm just using a camera phone, just using a smartphone to make this video. Depending on the popularity of them, if I get enough hits, then I might upgrade to a video camera at some point, so I'll be able to actually show you myself doing some of these jobs. As it is, I'm just going to have to explain what I'm going to do and then show you the results in the next video. Anyway, so to seal the bored holes, what I've done is just gone to a local glazier's glass shop and just purchased this piece of glass, which is 10mm. That's the same thickness as the rest of the glass in the tank. It was cut to size for me by the guy in the shop, and that just cost £2, so you can't really argue with that. All you need to do is to just file down the edges a little bit using one of these blocks. It's a wet and dry sandpaper block. Don't think it is sandpaper, but it's something like that. You've probably seen these in your local pound or dollar shop. You can get 3 of them for £1, and then you just need to use a bit of water if you need to, but just rub the edge of the glass just to take the sharpness off. Do that all round, and that will prevent both you getting cuts and the fish getting injured as well when they go in. So that fits exactly in the space there. So I'm going to clean up the remaining silicone that's left in the bottom of the tank, because I don't want any gaps. Place that glass back in with some of this aquatic silicone sealant. This is called HA6. I got this off eBay for, it's only a couple of quid, I think £2.50, and that's well more than I need. And then to paint the back, I've just bought this blackboard paint, which I've bought because I believe, I haven't painted the back of a tank before, but I believe that using blackboard paint prevents brush strokes and streaking on the back of the tank. So we'll see if that's true once I've done it. And I'm going to apply it with this little roller. Again, only a couple of quid from your local discount store, and you get a couple of different types of foam heads with this. This is just like a sponge. That's the one we don't want, I believe. I think we want to try this, which looks like sheep's wool, but I think it's some sort of synthetic equivalent. So we'll use that with the blackboard paint. Paint the back, give the tank a good old clean, fit the base plate in over those 2 holes, and that will be the next stage complete. So join me again when I've done that, and we'll move on to the next stage of the refurb. Thanks for watching. Rate this video and subscribe please, because there's plenty more to come. There's going to be a few more series of videos. I'm going to do one on this, on my cold water setup, which is here, which I mentioned in my last video. That is a 50-gallon tank. Unfortunately it's overcrowded, even though it's 50 gallons. I've got a Fluval 4 interior filter in there, and a small Eheim one. I've just basically, and an under gravel filter. I've basically just piled all my spare filters in there because these guys are just, anyone who's ever kept goldfish will know how dirty they are. And I have to, even though this is a 50-gallon tank, I've had to do water changes on this twice a week, and it's just a pain because of the amount of water required. So the plan is that these guys are going to temporarily go into the big 100-gallon tank here once it's complete, and that will do to keep them in until I get a pond built in the back garden. Another little series I'll do on that. And then once they get transferred into the pond, then this tank will be ready to fit out for my cichlids, and that's my cichlid tank over there, Mbuna cichlids, which I really like. They're just really entertaining to watch. They get to know you. Look, there they are. I've got some red zebras in there, and I think those guys are blue zebras, although I'm not very well up on. There's so many different varieties, as you know. There's another type in there that I got from a local Aquarius shop, and I just don't know what they are. There's the female there, if anyone can help me identify it. That's the male and the female there. The little blue one is the male, and that's the darker yellow one right in the centre of the screen now is the female. But what they are, I don't know. There's about 1,000 different breeds of Mbuna, so your guess is as good as mine. But I hope to read up a bit more on that so I know what I'm doing when I stock my tank. But they all live, they have a few arguments, but they live quite happily together in there. So ultimately they'll be getting moved to the big tank. One of the red zebras, if you're confused by the way I keep saying red zebras, they seem more yellow to me. There's just a very, very slight pink tinge to them, which may not come across on this video. But they're called red zebras, but for all purposes they're really just a darkish yellow, from what I know. So yeah, but one of them, I did a little tip for you on cichlids if you've started keeping them, to get them to breed. When I do my water changes, I always try and match the temperature of the water to that of the tank. I'm sure most of you do that as well. But with Mbuna cichlids, if you want to get them to breed, when you do your water change, just use normal tap temperature water. Don't warm it up, just put it in cold. So I do about a 30 to 50% water change, and I just put just tap temperature. It's summer at the moment here in England, so the tap temperature isn't too cold. Obviously if it was freezing cold then I'd warm it up a little bit, but that change in temperature seems to get the Mbuna cichlids to breed, induces spawning, and I've got one female which is holding eggs in her mouth at the moment, and she's upstairs in a separate tank. I caught her last night, and hopefully within, I reckon, about another week or two she should release her fry from her mouth and look after them for a few days. But I'll do another film on that for you if you're interested. Post some comments if you want to see more of that. And that's it for now. I've been doing up my house, which is why this whole series of videos is called Paul's Place. You can see these tanks are all crowded together at the moment. They're not supposed to be like this. I realise it looks a bit of a mess, but I live in a little, what you Americans might call a brownstone. It's a terraced house, and I've been totally redecorating the place. I took the whole place down to bare bricks, replastered it myself, and I've recently redecorated, so that's why the place is in a mess. I've built this cupboard under the stairs, but yeah, as you can see, it's still a bit messy. I've still got work to do, as always, but if you saw my last video, you'll notice the place was a complete tip. It's a little bit tidier now, and there we go. So, end of video number 2, and tune in for video number 3, where I hope to show you this tank in a bit of a better condition than it is now. Thanks for viewing. If you like this, please rate and subscribe if you can, because plenty more videos to come, and I hope you'll enjoy them. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.